Believe it or not, the Saints Row series is one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. My first exposure to the series was seeing my dad play the third game when it released. So for fun, let's look at the story and go over the timeline of the Saints Row series. I'm going to go in depth with each game and try and figure out which years they take place in. And I won't even be talking about the reboot, because that game. Oh, and this probably goes without saying, but spoilers. The original Saints Row opens with a nameless character walking through the Saints Row district of Stillwater. A gang fight breaks out and our character is caught in the crossfire. Just as we're about to be killed by a survivor, we are saved by Julius Little and Troy Bradshaw. Julius is the leader of an upstart gang called the 3rd Street Saints, and he tells us to join up. The next day we drop by the church, and after getting canonized into the gang, we officially become a member of the Saints. The goal is to take the city from the 3 dominant street gangs, the Vice Kings, West Side Rollers, and the Carnales. Starting with the Rollers, Saints Lieutenant Lynn goes undercover to infiltrate them. After not much progress, Lynn comes up with the idea to shoot up the Rollers' mechanic, Donnie, a close friend of the Rollers' boss. This works as Lynn gets in deep, too deep as she is later found out and killed. The player gets revenge by killing their leaders Joseph Price and William Sharp. The player, Dex, and Troy take down the Carnales led by brothers Hector and Angelo Lopez. You disrupt their drug operations and even take over their partnership with the cartel, and even get into an argument about shoes.
Oh my god!
What are you doing here?
I was supposed to leave with Angelo.
So what's in here? Guns? Money? Some uncut shit? Shoes?
Actually, they're this season's new.
Hey, bullshit, that's last year's fall collection.
That's not true.
Just let it go, man. No reason to piss off Manuel. Let's get going.
So, what am I supposed to do now?
I don't fucking care.
I have no place to go.
See, answer A.
But you can't just leave me here.
Bitch, you're trying my patience.
Can you at least tell me where Manuel is?
I changed my mind. Shoot her.
Finally, the player and Johnny Gat look to take down the Vice Kings by destroying their music and prostitution ring. This starts its own war from the Vice Kings, leading to the leader Benjamin King briefly joining the Saints and finally killing Tanya Winters and ending the Vice Kings once and for all. After the city is in full control of the Saints, we are made the number 2 in the gang until Julius is arrested by Troy, who turned out to be an undercover cop. The police chief asks us to do him various favors, including killing the mayor. When the police chief doesn't release Julius, the Saints ambush him at the funeral and kill Chief Monroe. The alderman invites the player to his personal yacht, and it doesn't really go well.
Hey, yo, can you speed this shit up? I want to go to Freckle Bitches.
You're going to die here, son. Make no mistake about that. But if it makes it any easier on you, I'll be sure to thank you in my acceptance speech. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a party to...
I can 100% say this game takes place in 2006, considering the clothes and music in the game, and there was a piece of promotional art that has an interview with Troy dated as September 3rd, 2006, so we're going to say that Saints Row 1 takes place in late summer to early fall of 2006. Saints Row 2 opens up with the player in prison, waking up from a 5-year coma. It's never explicitly said, but I hear 5 years come up a lot, and before someone comments it's not 15 years like the PSN store says. That's a lie. Anyway, the player is greeted by Carlos Mendoza, a fellow prisoner whose brother was in the Saints back in 06. The boss himself actually thinks no time has passed and it's still 2006. The two escape prison, and it's here where the boss learns that years have passed, and the Saints don't even exist anymore. The player heads to a club and sees on the news that Johnny Gat, who is obviously still wearing purple, is on death row about to be executed. We save him from the courthouse, reunite with Aisha, and find a new HQ since the church was renovated by Ultor. Johnny and the boss recruit new members to rebuild the Saints and retake the city. The new lieutenants include Pierce Washington, the aforementioned Carlos, and a woman named Shondi. And with their help, the boss sets out to retake Stillwater. With Pierce and Johnny, they take out the Ronin, but during Gat's wife Aisha is sadly killed, and Gat is wounded by a katana. At the funeral, the Ronin leader Shogo Akuji tries to disrupt it, and it ends badly for him. This is one of the best, but also morbid cutscenes in the entire series. I'm just going to play it. Later on, the Saints kill Shogo's father, Kazuo, and the Ronin are finished for good. Carlos and the boss take on the Brotherhood. The leader, Mero, wants to make the Saints an offer. On the way, however, the cops show up, leading to a gunfight. After escaping the cops, we get back to the Brotherhood hideout and learn that Donnie is now working with the Brotherhood as a mechanic. And it's here where the relationship between the Saints and the Brotherhood crumbles.
Big, and I think the Saints are going to want to get in on the ground floor.
So what's the offer?
2080.
I'm assuming I get the 80.
Yeah, sure you do.
You really expect me to take 20 and say thanks?
On your hands and fucking knees.
Is this a joke? I used to own...
Used to is right. Time's passed you by. Now you're a has-been with some burn scars.
I suggest you shut the fuck up before...
You're kidding me, right?
Hey man, be cool.
You really think that a couple of washed-up bangers like you and Gat have a chance against the Brotherhood?
We'll see. Let's go, Carlos.
The boss kidnaps Donnie and forces him to blow up some trucks, even replacing Mero's tattoo ink with radioactive waste. In response, the Brotherhood kidnap Carlos and drag him across the street. By the time the boss gets to him, it's too late and he puts Carlos out of his misery. In revenge, the boss kidnaps Jessica and stuffs her in her own car to be crushed by Mero. And later, the boss kills him after a failed trap. Finally, with Shaundi, the boss sets out to destroy the Sons of Samdi and take over their drug market. After retaking the entire city, the Saints are targeted by Ultor. In the years since the first game, they went from a clothing company to a mega corporation. The Saints escape and plan their revenge on Ultor. Johnny and the boss go to attack and destroy their secret R&D lab, the Pyramid. Later, Pierce learns of a boat party hosted by Ultor and heads there. The boss kills all the execs on the board, and Dane Vogel, who had been making small appearances in the game so far, is promoted to chairman of Ultor. He holds a press conference, and the Saints attempt an assassination attempt, but it goes poorly. The boss catches up to Dane Vogel and kills him. Later, the boss goes to find Troy, but instead of finding Troy, he finds recordings that reveal that Julius was the one who set the bomb. The player gets Dex's phone number and is told to meet up with the church. Instead of finding Dex, he finds Julius.
The fuck took you so long?
You ain't Dex.
Neither are you.
You look different, did you?
I didn't do shit to my hair.
You pulling a gun on me?
Well, I didn't have time to plant a bomb in the church, so this'll have to do.
You don't know what the hell you talking about.
Why don't you educate me?
I don't gotta explain shit to you.
This is where we gonna have to agree to disagree.
Why don't you just put the gun down? We both know you're not gonna use it.
Not yet.
Stop!
I never thought I'd see you beg, Julius.
I'm not begging. I'm trying to talk some sense into you.
I'm done listening to your bullshit.
Put it together. Dex wanted us in the same place.
Yeah, and why'd he want that?
Can we kill each other later?
After fighting through Dex's Masaka units, the player finally kills Julius.
Just like old times, player.
Yeah.
Jesus. I thought we were past this.
Not by a fucking long shot.
Don't you get it? The Saints didn't solve a goddamn thing. Drugs were still being pushed. Innocent people were still getting killed. All we did was turn into vice kings that wore purple.
Jesus Christ, you sound like a pussy.
I sound like someone who's not a sociopath.
You wanna be the killer with a conscience? Fine. Drop your flags and write a book like King, but you never should have came after me.
You telling me, if I would have asked you to walk away, you would have said yes?
Fuck no, this is my city.
Jesus, you haven't learned a goddamn thing.
Wrong. I've learned that being in charge is better than being a bitch who keeps his mouth shut and does what he's told. Your time's over, old man.
What's happened to you?
I woke up.
You owe me, player. If it wasn't for me, you would have died on that street corner.
If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been in a goddamn coma.
And I guess that makes us even.
Not really.
I sadly don't own all the DLC, so I'm just going to briefly go over them. Ultor Exposed sees you work with Tara Patrick. No, I'm not making that up. To reveal Ultor's shady experiments. And Dex goes into hiding, and the Saints strike up a partnership with Ultor. Saints Row 2, I believe, takes place in 2011. With it being 5 years since the first game, it lines up with the timeline. And there's a gun in the game called the McManus 2010, so it could be last year's model. So we'll just go with 2011 for Saints Row 2. In the years since the Saints retook Stillwater, they have become a billion-dollar company with their own clothing, drinks, and commercials. The Saints decide to rob a bank as a publicity stunt. The plan seems well until the tellers pull out guns, and a shootout happens. The Saints are captured and thrown in jail. Two sisters named Viola and Kiki DeWinter request to speak to the Saints, and it's here where they meet the leader of the syndicate, Philippe Loren. He tries to give the Saints a pretty bad deal, and the Saints just tell him to screw off. Johnny breaks free and attacks Loren. Shandy and the boss try to escape the plane, but during the chaos, they try to phone Johnny, and all they hear is gunshot, assuming Gat had been killed. After some free-falling, they land in Steelport, which is a foreign city to them, and with no guns or a place to stay, the Saints raid the National Guards, and Shandy uses her ex's place as a crib until the Saints can find a suitable location. They do when they raid a party hosted by the Morningstar and take over their penthouse. And after making some small moves to hurt the Morningstar, the Saints finally gear up to kill Loren. During this, they meet Oleg Kirillov, an ex-KGB brute who the Morningstar had been experimenting on to create clones. The Saints finally catch up to Loren, but during he gets away, the boss gets a little creative and crushes him with a giant metal ball. After this, they briefly go back to Stillwater, but during another gang, the Luchadors led by Killbane, blow up a bridge that was honoring Alderman Hughes from the first game. After this, the Saints recruit 3 new lieutenants, Kenzie Kensington, Zemos, and Angel, who is voiced by Hulk Hogan. However, a problem arises when Pierce organizes a party where the hookers turn out to be secretly assassins, and we get one of the best lines in the entire franchise.
Oh shit! These hoes ain't hoes!
The Saints kill the assassins, and in a blind rage, Killbane snaps Kiki's neck. This causes Viola to turn sides and join the Saints, letting the boss know about a shipment of girls coming in by boat. The Saints hijack it, and during the boss has the option to either keep the girls to the Saints or give them back to the Syndicate. Regardless of what you choose, Viola requests to meet up at the park. During the meet, they are stormed by a military unit named Stag. They storm the Saints, and with all their effort, the Saints still get away. Before they can turn their attention to Stag, however, Kinsey informs the boss that Killbane is on live television trashing the Saints, even putting out a fake video claiming the Saints destroyed the bridge in Stillwater. The boss and Shawnee manage to catch up to Killbane, but before they can kill him, their helicopter is trashed by Matt Miller, the leader of the Deckers, the rival to Kenzie. The Deckers are taken out pretty quickly, however. After grabbing some things for Kenzie, the boss goes into virtual reality and defeats Matt Miller. The boss tries to kill Matt, but he talks his way out of it, leaving Steelport in the process. In the meantime, Josh Burke, an actor who helped the Saints rob the bank in Stillwater, is named the official mascot for Stag. The Saints, learning this, come up with a plan to pose as actors and kidnap Burke. The plan works and draws out Stag. After a battle with the Saints at their HQ, Stag Commander Cyrus Temple comes to face to face with the boss. We either have the choice to give Burke back to Stag or keep him with the Saints. Regardless, Stag kidnaps Shawnee and holds her hostage. The player, who is disguised as Cyrus Temple, brings in Pierce and Viola to sneak in and free Shawnee. The plan works, however 12 hours later, Stag completely locks down the entire city. Not letting up, the boss decides to hijack a Stag airplane and it goes horribly wrong. Landing back in the streets, the falling debris causes gas cans to burst, awakening the dead. The mayor, who happens to be Burt Reynolds, asks the Saints to help with the zombies, and the boss gladly obliges, being a fan. With Stag temporarily taken care of, the Saints can finally focus on Killbane. The boss decides to wrestle Killbane at his wrestling event Murder Brawl. With the help of Angel, they kill all the other contenders in order to force Killbane to face the boss. And on the day of the event, the boss brings out Angel and the two finally have their rematch. During, however, Angel breaks his leg. The boss steps in to fight Killbane, and honestly, probably my favorite mission of the entire series. The player has the option to either unmask Killbane or not. Regardless, Killbane is humiliated. But before they have time to celebrate, a major war breaks out between Stag and the Luchadors. After clearing 3 zones, the boss learns that Killbane is trying to leave the city, but also learned that Kia has Shawnee and Viola hostage, about to blow up a statue. The canon choice is the play to save Shawnee and Viola. After doing so, Stag is called off and the Saints continue to stay in Steelport. Saints Row 3, in my opinion, either takes place in 2015 or 16. I say this because the McManus 2015 is in the game, and in Saints Row 2 there was the McManus 2010. So SR3 is either 15 or 16, you can choose. Okay, it is now time to talk about Saints Row 4. Shortly after, the Saints are seen in Pakistan helping MI6 operative Asha Odekar to capture terrorist Cyrus Temple. After the events of the third game, he is turned terrorist. The boss manages to kill him, but Cyrus manages to launch the nuke. The boss climbs it, destroys it, and lands in the White House. 5 years later, we see that the boss has become the President of the United States, and while attending a press conference, aliens invade and abduct all the Saints. Man, past whatever they were smoking when they wrote this game. The boss is abducted and wakes up in a 1950s-style steelport. Kenzie helps us break free, and Zinyak throws the boss into a Zen-themed steelport. After buying a gun and doing small things to disrupt the simulation, Kenzie is finally able to get the boss out. The boss wakes up on Zinyak's ship, and after killing waves of aliens, Kenzie finally shows up and saves us. We escape, and then Zinyak blows up the entire planet. The boss decides to head back into the simulation to help save the rest of the Saints. After meeting and helping an AI named Sid, the boss can start to help save the rest of the Saints. They start with Matt Miller, whose simulation is his fear of Killbane. Back on the ship, they discover a simulation on a plane, and the boss concludes that Johnny must still be alive. The boss goes in only to discover it's in fact Shandi's simulation. After teleporting into a nightclub, the boss fights a clone of veteran child, Shandi's ex in the second game, and we've saved Shandi. And she has a pretty funny argument with herself.
What's her problem?
My problem? My problem is that I used to be you.
This isn't a born-again thing, is it?
Nah, she's future you.
Makes sense. So what happens to me?
What do you mean?
Look, Shandi, let's get out
No. I want to hear what I have to say to myself. What did you mean, what happens to me?
Well, evidently I become a total frigid bitch, so I just wanted to know what's up.
Oh, you mean I stopped sitting around smoking drugs from a broken light bulb all day?
Guys, maybe we should...
Yeah, you're lame now. You used to have fun.
I used to be useless.
What?
The most memorable thing you ever did was get captured by your smoked out ex.
That's not true.
I'm sorry, and fucking half of Stillwater. Go team.
I always thought you were just really friendly and hated pants.
Someone gets it.
I hate me. Let's get out of here.
When saving Pierce, his fear is being attacked by a giant Saints flow can, which we dispose of. Saving Ben King takes us back to 2006 Stillwater, and we kill the Vice Kings again. And Asha's simulation is a Metal Gear Solid style mission where the boss kills the evil version of himself. Once the three are saved, the boss goes back into the simulation and notices clones of the Ronin, Vice Kings, and Morningstar attacking each other, with even past versions of the player showing up. They conclude that this must be Johnny's mind. Once discover the boss plans to save Johnny, and we get one of my favorite cutscenes of the entire series, so I'm just gonna play it.
Feels weird not being in a shitty sports bar.
We could always name the ship the Broken Shillelagh.
Not funny.
Kenzie, relax.
Doing my best.
Look, if you're worried about me going brain dead, I figure it's part of the deal.
You have to say something.
What aren't you telling me?
Thanks, Matt.
Kenzie?
It's not you she's worried about, it's everyone else.
Oh, this is gonna get real exciting.
It doesn't matter.
I have a feeling we're about to disagree.
Saving Gat is a terrible idea.
The fuck's got into you?
You're out of line!
Boss don't answer to you, honey. Bitch, you lucky we're standing in front of Keith David or...
Stop it! He's right, okay? It's a terrible idea. In order to save Johnny, we have to tap directly from our ship into his mind, and that means Zinyak's going to know exactly where we are. You're asking Matt and I to paint a target on humanity's last chance so that you can go rescue someone we've never even met. And what's even stupider is that we're going along with it. That guy you just beat the shit out of is risking everything to save your friend. And you want to know why? Because we can't save ours anymore. Oleg is dead. Viola is dead. Earth is dead. So how about you stop being a fucking asshole and say thank you for giving us the hope you'll never have?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, you could have killed me back in Steelport, but you let me go. I can forgive a few punches.
Okay then, get in the chair.
Diving into Johnny's simulation sees the player in a Streets of Rage style beat 'em up where Johnny has to relive the death of Aisha over and over again. The player breaks the cycle and saves Johnny.
Johnny, what the hell happened?
So I'm in the plane doing my thing.
We learned that Johnny wasn't killed by the Wren, but abducted by Zinyak years before his invasion. With the entire crew back together, the Saints work to activate King's plan. The plan fails when the Sin ambush the Saints, and before they can escape, Zinyak kidnaps Kenzie, and Keith David is missing. The boss goes after Keith, who Zinyak promised to bring back Earth if he killed the boss. Keith, however, has a change of heart, prompting Zinyak to drop him in his own simulation, based off the movie They Live with Roddy Piper. The boss frees Keith and he reveals where Kenzie is, the same 1950s era Steelport with Cyrus Temple still in charge. With the power of dubstep, we kill Cyrus and free Kenzie.
I said anyone.
Hey, you got it. Just saying, it was a cute poodle skirt.
The Saints need to build a key to completely disrupt the simulation. The boss gets the parts and builds the key. Now they can embark on their plan to kill Zinyak. The boss gives its Our Time Now speech and the plan is set. Firstly, the boss and two Saints of your choosing need to help deliver the key to the Syndicate Tower. With the help of Sid, they deliver it into the simulation mainframe, completely destroying it. After destroying some portals with the help of two other Saints of your choosing, the final group go into Zinyak's ship. The boss finds some power armor and confronts Zinyak, who pulls out his own giant robot. It's of no avail as the boss defeats him and rips his head off. With there being a 5-year time skip between Saints Row 3 and 4, this game either takes place in 2020 or 2021, depending on what year you think SR3 is. I sadly don't own Get Out of Hell anymore, so I can't play it, but all you need to know is that Satan kidnaps the boss and Get rescues him. If I ever buy the game again, or find a way to, or if I somehow find an old copy somewhere, I'll probably make a part 2 to this video. But Get Out of Hell probably takes place like a year or two after Saints Row 4 since the expansion. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my first time trying something like this, and by no means am I saying these are the definitive years. These are just what I kind of pinpointed as them to be. If you have some other proof that contradicts this, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace. I'm out.